We are back again, folks, live from my COVID sickbed. Yes, that's right. I have COVID for the second time in 3 months, and so I have to take a week off work until I recover. So if my voice sounds a little weird, that's why. It's not been great, but it hasn't been terrible either. The first time I had it was back in February. That was unbearable, but this second go around is not as bad. So what do? We're back at Corey's Video Corner because I'm stuck at home, and I overnight Amazoned a request from my friend Ryan after I had reviewed that William Friedkin movie, Cruising. He had recommended another William Friedkin movie that came out in 1977, the year my dad graduated from high school, Sorcerer. And I don't know anything about this movie other than I watched the trailer on YouTube. It looked very interesting. It was made over the course of like 3 to 4 years, starring one of my favorite actors of the 70s, Roy Schneider. I think of Jaws when I think of that actor. Oh, and the movie Marathon Man. But to me, these types of movies of this period, 70s, they feel very similar. This is the remastered edition. It was $14.99. 2-day shipping, Amazon Prime. So we're going to review this movie for the first time today, see what it's all about, rate it on the 1 to 5 scale, and that's pretty much it. So the next cutaway, you will see us talking, who is the other person? I don't know. My wife might get in on it. I'll see if she's interested in it. This movie is only rated PG, surprisingly, so 2 hours long. Okay. This is a 2014 DVD version. Roy Schneider lends his intense talent to this taut action adventure. South American jungles, a 4-man team led by Schneider must transport a volatile cargo of nitroglycerin over 200 miles of treacherous terrain. Okay. Outstanding score by the synth band Tangerine Dream. My friend Ryan said it wasn't really a big hit when it came out, but it has garnered a lot of accolades over the years, and it has a 79% Rotten Tomatoes score and just as high IMDb score as well. So my feelings about his other movies are very high, so I expect this one to get a high mark too, but you never know. So that's it for now. We'll cut back in just a jiff. One other quick note. I recently had a comment in one of my other videos that my clothing looks cheap. And yes, that person is 100% right. I would say the vast majority of the shirts that I own are from the thrift shop and cost less than $5. So that detective knew what they were talking about. Although this particular shirt was given as a birthday gift, and I don't know what the retail price was on it, probably over $25. So one other thing about cheapness, let's talk about how in the 21st century, deep into the digital era, DVD cases are more flimsy than ever. They just don't feel like they did when they came out in the early 2000s. And another pet peeve that I have about the more modern DVD, no liner notes. Look at that. It still has the little plastic tabs there, but no little index of scene selection. Very upsetting. You're spending almost $20 for a disc, and they don't even give you a booklet. So, I feel like when DVDs first came out, they always had a thick booklet of scene selection and little notes about the movie. Gone are the days of high-quality hard media. Everything is cheap, and streaming is what everyone wants now. So there you go. Now we're getting to watch the movie, and we'll be right back. Here's another quick gripe. How many of you are married to or in a relationship with somebody who doesn't put the videos back in their cases after they're done watching them? They just pile them up on top. Don't understand it. One video at a time, out of the case, into the case, back on the shelf. It's not rocket science, folks. Okay, so I just finished watching Sorcerer, and FYI, the whole movie is named after one of the trucks they drive. It's got Sorcerer painted on the side. Otherwise, I can't figure out why else the movie was called that. So it was kind of like all over the place at first. It's following these different characters that end up... You have something you want to say? Mm-hmm. What do you want to say?
I just came here to see.
The movie follows these characters from all over the world that have bad circumstances happen, and they end up deep in Latin America under different identities, illegally outside of immigration authority. And they're working on these oil wells deep in the jungle. And they end up having to transport expired nitroglycerin dynamite that's very unstable in these Mad Max third world trucks that are ancient and falling apart. And basically the whole movie is about trucking and transportation. Mm-hmm. But I liked the way it was filmed. Lots of greenery. He does that whole blue light thing in nighttime scenes. There's one really intense scene that you saw. What did you think of it?
I like the end, how violent it was.
It's rated PG, folks, but 1977 PG is a lot different than modern PG. So he did not watch the whole thing. I am not a bad parent. I am going to give the movie... I gave it 4 out of 5. It was good, but it was good, but it wasn't amazing. It was an intense movie, suspense thriller genre. What would you say on your 1 to 5 scale?
I would say, I would rate the movie, I'd measure it 5.
You give it a 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
So,
I'd always give it 4.
I'm like borderline 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. I like it. It's a good movie, and it's got that 70s vibe. The characters were intense. He picks really good characters, just the grittiness that you see of Latin America and how impoverished it is and how desperate people get in certain parts of the world. It's just, and then you just, how worn down these people were, and they were willing to go to desperate measures to make 8,000 pesos, which is only like $400 in American money. Anyway, give it a whirl. Sorcerer, 1977. Comment down below if you've seen it. Interested to hear your thoughts on it. This review, once again, was for my friend Ryan in exile in Summerlin, Las Vegas. Go visit him at the Chick-fil-A on Apache Road. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Ah, I can't turn it off!